Hey, look, there's another shitty 80 series.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it is. It's an 80 series.
Elite breed 4x4.
I think I've seen that vehicle before, eh?
Yeah, it looks pretty familiar.
Halo lights, I like it.
Did
This is one thing I never get. No offence to people who drive on the beach. I can't drive on the beach, eh? I've seen what happens to vehicles who drive on the beach.
Yeah.
Well, can I just say something, George?
What, you drive on the beach?
When you used to shoot car ads, if a car was on the beach, we'd write it off. We'd cut it up.
Yeah, well, that's
That's
because
what
it's on the beach. But I can assume these blokes wash it out a bit. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on here, would it?
If that was my truck, I'd take it home and I'd leave the sprinkler under it for 3 days. On.
Well, okay, it's got
6.2
an
LS3.
Right, that's pretty impressive. That'd do some nice dives on the beach, I must say.
Both front and rear fully braked, diffs.
So these were some of the challenges that were sent in for head-to-head. So you reckon any of these would qualify?
That's a pretty impressive Navara, eh? Like, I'm all out for the...
It's a Navara, it's going to break.
For the Nissans and stuff. Yeah, but look at it. Look at the diff strengthening under here already.
Yeah, it's pretty
Someone's done a fair
beat
bit of work to that, mate. What's it got in it? Let's have a quick... Oh, it doesn't have the details.
I
Hey,
couldn't
details
find the
for it.
details.
See,
There.
push pig.
That's
That's
a twin snorkels. I wonder if he's actually running a V8.
Mods by Taylor there, eh?
Nice bar.
It's not a bad looking bar, that actually.
Bit
I
like-
wish I had that on my truck.
Yeah.
I could hit stuff.
Oh, come on,
Aaron
mate.
Edwards, another
You
80.
gotta paint your rims or something.
Let us know where you're watching from, guys. You got any questions or comments? Remember, just send them through. We've got a team here ready to take messages.
Yeah, look at it. And he smelt bad before too.
So what did you
Hey,
do
I've
to
been
fix it?
outside sweating my guts out all day, man.
I literally,
on,
had,
really?
to,
Where
I
have you
literally
been?
had to get deodorant
Where
so I
have
could
you
sit
been?
beside
You've
him.
been sitting on a plane or something, like floating in the middle of the ocean somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah, I
Exactly.
still don't stink like...
Exactly, out in the nice and cool.
It was cool. Oh, see? Gee.
Where?
Dual
Looks
cap.
like this one nearly.
Give or take, give or take. Well, I don't like the short tray, eh? It's a bit short.
Yeah.
But sunroof on top, what might come on detail? You got to give some details. And the QE. Everyone loves the
You
QE.
started out with one of these,
Yeah,
except
I
the wagon, didn't you?
Don't like the bars though, eh? X-Rocks bars, I don't rate them. You rate them?
No, oh, well, I built one similar on my old 80, but it was only built for hitting stuff. I
Right.
didn't really love that bar.
Yeah, but it looked like shit.
It was good for hitting stuff.
Yeah, it still looked like
Got
shit.
you out of trouble.
Well, here we are at Grunt Ruts Garage.
Again.
And unfortunately we weren't here last week because some asshole
It's
decided...
George, we're live.
Oh, some
Yeah.
normal person.
Thomas Edward and Zach Cloud, a shout out to you.
Oi,
Wait, Zana,
oi.
bring your truck back up this way so we can go have a play.
No, so we
Alright.
can break it again.
Yeah.
So,
Inspired Signs, thanks for the sponsorship. They've done
They
a beautiful
did that.
artwork over here.
Look, it's Thomas right there.
Yeah, Zana's up the top. Look at him. He's ugly as.
I think he's got worse, eh?
Yeah.
Cairn Service Centre, where we're at now.
Yeah, they do good work.
Cairn Service Centre, where we're at now.
They do good work when you're not around. They can do it.
And if you did read here, we are doing some free road trip checks. So if you are going on a decent trip, bring her in so we can give her a check over. Especially if you're doing the Cape trip, because I've seen a fair few vehicles coming back this
you're
season
doing-
a bit stuffed
If
up.
you're doing the Cape trip or doing any long distance trip, bring it in. Let us check
I've got to
it
bring
over.
mine in just to do a trip down
Anyhow.
down a
Well,
corner.
yours
bar.
is
Yeah, well,
barely
that's 'cause
been
yours
going.
is a patrol.
And of course, our Boneyard Run the movie. That is pretty cool. I advertised that the other day.
good shot of yours. Actually, who's
No,
is
that's
that?
Thomas's there.
That's Thomas
Oh,
in
there's-
front, then me,
there's Booze.
then George.
George
And the old death truck
Yeah, in the background.
in the background.
in the background.
Where it is now too, in the background. Look at him go.
My bonnet's strapped down with
See, look
ratchet.
how shit.
So,
look how
this
shit
isn't
you've all-
going,
look how
right?
shit you've all
No,
got.
This is dead.
They're both
This was
dead.
almost dead.
It wasn't
No,
like-
that's been reincarnated 3 times now.
Has
Yeah,
it?
rebuilt a few
Is
times.
this still around? Oh, this is in Melbourne.
Yeah, that's in
Yeah,
Melbourne
that's in
now.
Melbourne. It's been broken a few times.
All right.
It even made it to Melbourne. I was surprised.
All right, and we just keep scrolling through. So this is what you've been up to this week,
this,
George.
you've been?
this is where I've been in the air conditioning.
Yeah, in the air conditioning, nice and cool, eh?
So
No,
you
I've been up-
literally stepped off a plane half an hour ago,
Yeah,
right?
I'm still
You're
dressed,
still dressed.
and I'm actually really tired. That's
Yeah.
okay. So now I've been up there playing tugboats, which is pretty cool. Seen
Fun
some.
times.
What do you reckon that is?
I don't know.
It's not a dolphin. It's a fake killer whale.
A fake killer whale.
They're called something like that. Pilot whales, that's them.
What are they?
Wow.
Yeah,
Pilot
it's a
whales.
pilot whale. Well, we thought they were
So hang on, where did you see these?
in the water.
Of course, but where?
This is up at Scarden River in the Gulf of Carpentaria.
Scarden
Sort of-
River. If you've been up there, message us, let us know.
Well, you can't really get there, but
All right.
You can if you got a boat.
if you've been close to there, it's
Right.
yeah, it's about halfway down sort of the Gulf on the inside. It's close to the tip. It's a bit of a tease
Alright,
actually.
next.
So this is your boat?
Yeah, look, that's where you
Oh,
see. We see
okay,
them
you
jumping
got
in
'em at the front there.
It's pretty cool there actually.
So this is yours or not?
one of the boats I've been on, yeah.
Right, okay. So what are you doing on the boat?
We're looking at dolphins,
All right, you're a naturalist,
environmentalists.
environmentalist. Okay. So coming up, we've got the
Grunt
four-wheel
and
drive
four-wheel
show and
drive
shine on the 5th of October. Is that next weekend?
I don't know what's the date today.
Must be close.
No, that's not
The weekend
this week,
after.
Weekend after.
Yeah.
All right,
There you
cool.
go.
I wish.
Actually, they invited you down there, but I can't afford to fly you down, so
Use
put
your
you on the
story.
bus, mate.
And like we did on our last video, it's a like to win. We do usually have a few things to give away, so like this post to win a prize.
Yep. What are they winning this week? No.
Can
they're not
Casino.
Is that what we're giving away?
We're stepping up in the world, guys. No, we got some deadly sunnies.
Cheers for watching us, Matty Brown and Ethan Archer.
Where are they from?
I got no idea.
Let us know where you're from, guys.
Well, like this post, and you might get a set of sexy sunnies.
Yeah. So this week,
We're talking about a bit of road trip prep. We would kind of want to see what you guys are setting up for your road trips, whether it be a weekend trip, a few day trip, or a 2 week long trip. Obviously, there's a fair variation there on, time and distance. Something to the Simpson Desert or just a weekend spot. But we're keen to see what you take camping, and if it's just a weekend, whether you take your crock pot or not a crock pot. What are they called?
Crab
Those-
pot.
Crab pot. No, those big steel things you put
Oh,
stuff
you
in.
camp oven.
Yeah, that's the one.
camp oven.
You clown. How do you get a...
Well, it's slow cook, crock pot, like slow cooking. I've got there in the end.
Anyway.
And this weekend, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Let us know. Be keen to hear. At the moment, we've got Lena.
Lena.
Germany.
Lena from Germany.
Germany.
Come on in. Everyone give Lena a round of applause. Lena, have a seat. So, Lena, you're on the road. You're about to go on the road.
Yes, that's right.
So tell us about it.
I want to travel to Darwin.
Right.
I started in Melbourne, end of March.
Right.
Okay, I want to go to Darwin in Western Australia and end up in Melbourne as well.
So how did you end up in this garage?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. So I stay in a house with a few other backpackers, and one of the guys said, yeah, I want to bring my car in this garage, and they're really nice there and trustworthy, so yeah, come with
you
me and
rocked
let's check
on
your
down
car.
and got us to have a look at your car.
Yep,
Oh,
that's right.
that's all right then. So how'd you decide you want to go to Darwin?
Why do you want to go to Darwin?
Many people ask me that question.
Yeah,
Why?
I've been
There's
there.
a good tattoo shop up there.
Oh,
It's
really?
called Humpty Doo Tattoo. If you're
Oh,
going to get a tattoo,
okay.
go there. He does really good work.
Oh, that's good.
He's awesome.
That's a random fact, eh?
I got it. I
is
got
that
a
why-
tattoo-
is that why
I
you
got a
go?
tattoo a few days ago.
Oh, see? Well, what else are you going for?
I've heard that it's really nice there.
Oh, well, you're about to find out, I suppose.
Nice and hot.
So Cairns is like halfway for you, right?
That's right.
So you started in Melbourne, did the whole East Coast, arrived in Cairns, and then heading across, and then the full loop back down to Melbourne.
Yeah, that's my plan so far.
So
Hey,
what are
Michaela
you
Yates is
driving?
looking-
What are you driving?
Is this your rig here?
Unfortunately,
Well, that's pretty
not.
impressive.
I have a much more nicer car up there.
We're down the back there
Pajero,
somewhere.
The
Down the
Pajero.
back.
We'll go have a
Yes.
quick look because I want to see
Yeah.
what work you've done to it. Just in regards to, like we said before, a road trip and what you can expect to possibly trailer.
Let us know where you're watching from. Send us a few likes. Remember, if you like this, you're in the draw for those awesome sunnies.
Your beautiful car, is it?
It is.
Yeah. How do you find it travelling? Comfortable?
Yes, I love it. I really
George
love
hates
it.
them.
I don't like them.
George hates them. I love them.
Did you see the
Don't
death
say
there?
that.
I absolutely love them.
God.
They are awesome vehicles, these.
Right.
My ex-partner used to have one, and it was a great car.
If my
Until
car
we
would break
killed
down
the
within the next week, that's because of you.
Don't put it back on me.
George as well.
That's uncalled for.
I really love it. So much space in it. So comfy.
So then what have you got on top? You've got your full rig, you got your camping set up?
Yes, that's right. I have my rooftop tent.
Got the good old Kenny's tent up there.
Yes, and I have my
How do you go
camping
setting it
gear.
up on your own? Not too hard?
No, it's not. It's
But-
really easy.
But Lena,
then
you're
4
not
minutes-
by yourself, right?
I am.
What?
Most
which one?
of the time.
Really?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
I have several friends with me, or some other people, just that I'm not alone. Just when
People that just
whenever
tag
drive.
along.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're good people, always have
People,
around.
they don't have a car, so
Yeah.
Make the trip a bit more entertaining.
So your trip up from Melbourne to here, have you had any issues, or what prompted you to bring it in here?
So I have an oil leak since Melbourne, I reckon. So I needed
And you drove all the way here.
I needed lots of oil. And I wanted to have a service before I start my trip, and there was that noise in the bag.
That noise, what noise was that?
Yeah, but I thought it's normal because I bought it like this.
It'll be right.
So George, what did you diagnose?
Well, the oil leaks were just, normal maintenance around the engine, a few tappet cover seals and stuff like that. On a vehicle this age, it's sort of, things that happen. One of the main things was the trail arm bushes actually at the back. That's where the noise was coming from. So we've pulled them out and replaced them. We've actually got one over here that we've put a new bush in. Where's the original bushes out of this one, Steve? So obviously that's the new bush that we replaced before, pressed them in. That's where they should be. I'll just...
Steve threw them in the bin on us.
Oh,
He's
mate,
cleaning up too
we've got to
much.
show how shit they are. Normal, not bad they are.
So these are an upgraded bush. Normally with the standard bushes, they're pretty much like a half bush. So you've only got a thick piece of rubber sort of through there, and that's hollow, and the bottom's hollow, and it wears under the movement and flogs out.
So
Hey, presto,
Lena,
we
do you
got one.
do you know what they're doing here?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you do
Yes,
or not?
Yeah, of course.
Sounds like you're a bit mechanical minded as well, eh?
Yes, Steve told me everything.
So
All right, okay. So there's the old one.
You
Yeah,
can
you
see
can
the
see.
wear,
Yeah.
the marks here. That's been cut into a bit to get the bush out, but that was quite...
while that was in the
manoeuvrability
car,
there.
while that's sitting in the car, it was collapsed across. So it meant that there was a lot of movement backwards and forwards in the trailing
And that's where the
arms.
noise was coming from.
Yeah, well then that allows all the knocking in the back end of it.
Right.
But
then-
that's pretty much the reason you need a quick checkup before
Yeah.
you go on a long trip to Darwin. And I can assume you're going over WA and all that as well, so...
Yes. Yeah.
End of the day,
It was a very good choice that I
Yeah.
bought my car here.
at the end of the day, if you don't if you hadn't gotten that repaired, there's a chance the bolt would end up wearing, break, and then you could end up with all sorts of catastrophic issues in the middle of nowhere.
Can we have a look under there and see where that's going in, George?
Yeah.
Have a little poke around.
I might slap this back in.
Now there's an R for right and an L for left. That's convenient, isn't it? They pretty much sit up in here. That all it does is hold the back diff into place with the chassis, essentially. You got a few other arms that help essentially there, but that's where most of your power goes from your drivetrain in the back to drive the vehicle.
So the heavy vibration would have been occurring in this area here.
Well, you get a lot of...
Oh, no, sorry, up there.
It's more this way.
Right,
you get
okay.
It. So there's bushes at both ends. This is the one that's obviously let go, and this...
Yep.
Obviously vibrations up and down, but every time you hit a rut, that wheel's going to try and kick forwards.
Yep.
That's there to support that and stop it from doing that. And the bush obviously don't steal on steel.
Yep.
You need a vibration damper there. And it was worn out, so getting stuff like that done is, it's not a huge job.
But it's
it'll make
essential.
it ride a lot more comfortable, and it eliminates any issues breaking your bolt or wearing these, elongating these out. So it's good you brought it in.
Yes.
So was there any other things that you discovered, or is it pretty
A
well
few
good?
little minor things, on a checkup, but on a vehicle this age, you might see little oil weeps here and there, which are not worth fixing up unless they're really bad. Obviously, the engine oil leaks were a bit more serious, so they got repaired.
Let us know where you're watching from. You got any questions or comments? Questions for Lena on her trip? Just let us know, and we'll try to get you on. Don't forget to give us a few likes as well. Remember, go in the draw for our sunnies if you give us some likes. Okay, what are we doing now, John?
Planned out, or is it just you're going to leave and see where you end up?
Yes, that's
I
right.
love it. I hate planning trips because
So-
you got to follow a schedule.
Yeah.
Then you just
When I arrived in Australia, I had a few plans and a few tours booked, but everything was different. So yeah, I ended up.
Why bother planning
Yes,
when you can just
that's
sort of...
right. Yes, and I love being spontaneous while traveling. That's the best thing to
I
do.
like it.
Yeah. me
And are
too.
you happy with the vehicle? Are you happy with your choice?
Yes, I am.
It's
I
big
am.
enough and it's roomy
Yeah,
enough for
I
everything?
don't know if it's big enough, but
Right, okay.
You have to upgrade to something like this next.
yeah, maybe.
Boo, what are you
Alright.
breaking there, mate?
So, okay, is that the front end? It is, isn't it?
No,
Front
there's
side?
There's two of those arms in the back there.
Right, no, I mean,
There's one on
that's
the
the
side, yeah.
front bush.
The front bush.
It's the front lower bush. Neither of you have got an idea. George, you're too tired, and Rob, you got no idea.
Well, I'm
Well, what
learning,
we-
mate.
You're learning off of us.
I am. I
Oh, a
don't
bit of a
doubt.
shout out to Brett Mitchell from Maryborough and
Yep.
Mark Wildham
And
from
also,
Queensland.
all right, and also Marsha.
And Marsha.
Marsha, one
Boo,
of our biggest fans.
I want to see another bit of an upgrade that you've been working on.
I don't do that stuff when I...
Come on, you can walk now, move.
Actually, you're not walking too bad. You're getting better.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Wait, don't you dare.
All right, Lena,
That's
come
a-
on,
that's
come on over. That's a pretty neat looking rig. Is there anything else you'd put on that, George, for what she's doing?
Not for maybe a
solid bar.
decent light bar at the front,
Light bar.
and maybe a steel bull bar, but only if you're driving at night. Do you drive at night much?
Sometimes I try not to do, but it's hard. It's getting dark so early.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
a nice light bar would be good on there. The aluminium bar's not too bad. You just don't want to hit a kangaroo too hard. Have you hit one yet?
No.
Oh, that's
All right, why don't you join us on the set for a minute? And what are we going to talk about next?
We're going to ask you all the questions now.
We can ask Lena all the
So
questions.
what's this?
Something from the car.
Something from a car.
Well, that's a good start.
That's
Yes.
close. That's very close.
All right, well, listen, why don't we thank Lena for coming in, and then we'll get on to this, George. Good idea?
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so...
can always stick
But I
around
don't
and
know what this is either, so that's why I asked you.
So, Lena, thanks heaps for showing us the vehicle. Thanks for dropping in. Do you have an Instagram account where people can follow you, what you're doing?
Yes, I have.
Is it something you want to keep to yourself or you want to share that?
No, that's alright. I can show you.
Okay, so what's your Instagram account?
So it's Lena, Lenaaa,
Yep.
and then the what's
Underscore?
the name? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then JU.
JU. Okay, so if you want
quick
to...
shout out to Tom Feast and Marsha Harris. Where he's from, guys? Let us know. You can't just put your name out there and be like, hey, we need to know where you're from.
Okay, so Lena, sorry I was interrupted there. If you want to follow Lena's travel, you've got the Instagram account number there, or account name, and safe travels.
Thank you.
Keep us posted. Send us some stuff, and we'll
What was
we'll
that
have a look at you
Instagram thing
online.
again?
What was the Instagram line again?
So it was Lenaaa
Yeah.
underscore
Underscore.
JU.
All right, cool.
Right.
Thanks heaps for coming into Grunt Ruts.
Thank you.
And I'm going to try and get you a T-shirt. When are you off? Tomorrow.
yeah.
Tomorrow?
No,
So
next 2 days.
no, I'm here the next 1-2 weeks.
All right. We've got plenty of time.
Plenty of
time.
So we'll get you some stickers as well.
Yes.
Thanks
of
for
course.
coming
See
in.
if we can't
You're
dig up a
welcome.
light bar
Yeah.
from...
Yeah,
Thanks
or
for
even
down at
fixing my
Enki
car.
Crash.
Yeah.
we'll try and get a light
Well, you'd
bar
have to
for
get
you as
a
well.
light bar for the front.
See if we can try and dig up a light bar from down at Enki Crash if we can.
It'll make your night driving a lot easier.
Anyhow,
Sounds great.
So thanks, Lena.
Cheers for the chat, eh?
Feel free to hang around. We're going to talk
George,
about
you're
some
not
other
that
stuff now.
silly.
Thank you.
You know what this is.
No, well, I was just saying that you've pulled this out of your hat, so
I pulled it
Obviously-
out of my hat.
obviously it's a catch cam.
Yeah.
Now, a quick brief on this. Where does this pipe go?
So that one there is going to run through to your front of your, or into your air intake, after your
Yeah, right.
filter. That there runs into your crankcase, or the top of your valve cover. Yeah, you understand that part?
Oh, I just run it into the chassis usually. So
Well, I know plenty of people like Thomas Edward or Thomas up there that's just got a bit of hose that runs down and vents the atmosphere.
So what this does essentially is a lot of vehicles. I don't really have one to show, but the tappet cover breather runs straight back into your air intake, and
Which then gums up all of it.
Well,
You got photos, don't you?
along with that, a lot of new vehicles nowadays have an EGR system, which exhaust gas recirculation. So returning exhaust gas in to meet emission controls and your engine or crankcase breather running into your intake, you get that.
So what have we got?
So in here you got a build up of like oil deposits and all your carbon. So what happens is over time it slowly shrinks up, closes over, causes your car to run like a bag of potatoes, pretty much. End of the day, it blocks up, causes fuel economy to be up the backside.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's so hard not to swear. God. Anyhow,
No, you can see the restrictions here. It's restricted. And that's your air intake. It's meant to be clean air. That's why you get an air filter, and you got that snot sitting in there.
So why aren't these fitted as stock?
because
It
manufacturers
doesn't meet-
don't need to do it.
It doesn't meet certain standards, so to speak. Like you look at that, that's ridiculous. This is out of a 79 series Land Cruiser did a while back.
That's
So
out of the floating one, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so that's just the build-up of, like we said before, exhaust gas and your oil combining together to make a nice little crust.
And that becomes really solid in there and gets hard to get out. So
So what you do is you install one of these.
this is a part of getting rid of that. One is an EGR delete, which we'll talk about in a later.
no,
section.
don't do an EGR delete, George.
And another way to stop that oil build-up getting into it is simply using one of these. Most
This
of
is
them
a
have got
ProVent
some
200.
sort of cartridge type in there, which catches the oil but still releases the steam or a bit of pressure back into the intake without the oil coming back in.
So these have got a pressure build valve here, in here, so when it builds too much pressure in there, it'll open and release, which keeps your positive crankcase pressures equal.
Well, look, I'm looking at this going, well, shouldn't this be stock? It should really be stock, shouldn't it?
Yes
No,
and no.
given the gunk you showed us there.
Well, we don't build engines or design these things. There's a reason they don't put them in. I'm not too sure completely, but they're an aftermarket piece you can buy, and personally, it should go on there.
So what does this set us back?
So well, this one here set me back absolutely zero because I went down and stole it out of a car at Enki Crash, thanks to Justin and Phil.
Right, okay.
And then I was talking to Steve about it, and he was pretty interested to have a bit of a look at it. He's seen the older versions, and we had a bit of a talk this afternoon, obviously when you went around. And yeah, we decided we were going to have a bit of a chat about it and fit it to a vehicle.
Quick shout out to Jesse J.R. Long. What's J.R.? Junior.
Junior.
Junior. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm getting there from Malanda, just up the road.
It is just up the road. Nice part
If
of the
you
world.
got a nice car, Jesse, you should bring
come
it
down and say good
down
day
one
one day.
Friday and have a chat.
These units actually as well, I've seen eBay spec ones, they're just your nice stainless steel canisters, look really nice. Don't get caught out if you are installing
They got
one of
nothing
them.
inside 'em.
There's nothing inside. Best
Really?
way to do it, yeah, they're just a bit of a hole.
They're just they literally just comes in.
It'll catch air just from circulation, oil, sorry.
But not as much.
Grab a bunch of steel wool you use in the kitchen and jam pack.
So are you going to install this on this?
Yeah, I was just gonna sort of start
just dummy
banging it in there.
fitted for now?
Just like they are, it's in. So pretty much here we've got most people, or some people like to get a bit fancy and they'll run this hose into another can. At the end of the day, when this gets up to a certain amount of oil, idea of the clear hose is so then you can crank the little tap here, drain it out into a bottle and dispose of it. Or you can tee that back into a return line back into the sump.
That's
So-
getting pretty serious.
Guys, let us know where you're watching from. Give us a few likes. I've hardly seen any. You like us, you go in the draw.
That's definitely not a George special, that one. Tan back in.
What? I did that.
So, I mean, there's plenty of room in this rig to install it, isn't there?
Well,
Yeah.
there's usually somewhere in a vehicle to install. A lot of the new cars
At
are
the
pretty
end-
packed full, but they'll come with kits. Like they'll come with a plate you can bolt in to mount it specifically
Yeah, like
somewhere.
this. So pretty much this sort of filter setup can be, depending on what your vehicle is, anywhere between $350 and $500.
Oh, yes.
But it should come with everything you need to fit it.
Nathan Page from
Musselbrook.
New South Wales. His
Nice
Land
part of the
Cruiser
world.
200 series had the same problem with the intake looking like
the
that. I can
EGR,
assume.
yeah.
All right, okay.
So
So,
it's not a single vehicle issue that happened. It's every vehicle, especially the Land Cruisers, have that particular fault with them. And after a certain amount of time,
And
you
ZD30s.
need to get them pulled apart and cleaned.
so
and
typically that's going to be an expensive service, isn't it?
Yeah, so essentially for say, if you can't fit it yourself, say $600, this is going to, in the end, potentially save you a couple of $1,000s. That's the whole idea of this, because this will eliminate the build-up and the damage to your motor. So yeah.
We've got Justin calling in from Canberra. As he says, the dope capital of Australia.
Yeah. Oi, they just got that. It just got
ACT.
all legalised down there.
It's not me.
Good old Canberra.
So are you putting it in or pulling it out? All right. George, should we head back to the desk?
Well, either way.
Whatever he's got to do.
Mate, I'm going to take ages and bung the lid there. But as we've seen there, that's pretty nasty. If you've got a TD40.
Have you done many like this?
I've done a few, yeah. The Hiluxes are the same. Just any sort of small common rail diesel motors with the same sort of setup.
So this will take you a day to clean all this out, would it?
Not a day. It depends on what work. While it's out, you might recommend a starter motor, for example, in the V8s, but a D4D out of a Hilux might only take 4 hours or something. It's
Shout
just-
out
it's
to
just
Damo from Warrnambool.
doing it properly that you want to do. So,
Wondering if it's still chilly down there.
yeah. Well, as you were scratching your arms.
Yeah. Good, thanks. All right, where are we at?
Anyway, next week.
Next week.
Yeah, next week.
What are we doing next week?
I've got a snake.
Hit the play button. Look at him.
Yeah, a snake. It's my pet. His name's Alfred.
He was a feisty little thing. So we're going to do a bit of an outdoorsy.
Well, hopefully, I've got a bit of a plan coming up. I want to do a bit of a camp setup.
Yeah.
And something that might arrive into your swag perhaps one night
Yeah.
while you're setting your camp up.
Yeah.
We've got a fella coming in actually to do a bit of a talk, I suppose, and hopefully bring a slithery friend in.
Snake or two.
To,
So this one actually chased me yesterday while I was doing some gardening out here in Cairns. I think it's a red belly black. It's only a juvenile, but it was pretty feisty. You wouldn't want to have
Did
one.
he get
No, I
pity.
thought, shut up. That's not it there. That's a green tree snake. So we've got someone from Cairns Snake Removals coming in to chat with you, George.
I'm pretty keen actually.
I'm pretty keen too. And we're
Honestly-
also, you're going to look at some camp setups as well?
Yeah, hopefully camp setups. If I can get it arranged, I want to see a bit of a difference between some swag, sleeping bags, rooftop tents, a bit of a camper, what the best place to use them, and ups and downs or cons and pros of each one. So
Yeah.
that'll be a good thing opposed to a bit of stuff that might slither in.
We got some shout outs.
We've got William Colac from Victoria,
Yep.
Lee Duffield for the Bass Strait Oil, that's pretty wicked. Damo Thomas, Victoria, and Nathan Raw from Atherton.
Right, okay.
Locals there, good on
So,
you guys.
guys, give us a few likes, as I said, because likes puts you in the draw to win those awesome sunnies again that we're giving away. So,
porno.
Boo, you want to say some farewell words or not?
Well, stop showing us your arms,
Yeah,
mate.
stop showing us 40 pounds of crack. I know it's legal in Canberra. Oh no, that's something else, isn't it?
Just remember, guys, at the end of the day, it's nice to get your car checked over. That's all I've got to say.
And get a few upgrades so you don't get EGR like that. And
Yeah.
come in and get your bushes checked.
Yeah.
And if you're in the area and you got a head turner to bring in,
Come say
bring
good
that in. Come and say good day, and
Rock
we'll,
on down.
and we'll put it in.
Oh, cheers guys, much appreciated. Give us a like. Like we said before, we're trying to get this up off the ground and get a few prizes out there as well for winners who do like and share the post. So have a wonderful weekend. Message us through what you're up to, and hopefully we'll see some stuff that we're up to as well.
George, you going to be here next week?
We'll find out.
Okay.
You mean you're not going to be?
We'll find out.
All right. Cheers. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good weekend.